Good day, everyone. Remember to live with gladness. It is your personal responsibility. My name is Mrs. Sophia Kiwamu. This episode, we'll be talking on the topic break free from hidden weight, hidden emotional weight. It is actually a weight that is not visible. It is a load that you cannot cover. You can bottle it, but you cannot cover it. You can try to cover up, it will still show because it will show in every area of your life. So it's important we break free. You set yourself free. There are hidden emotional weights that many are dealing with. Unfortunately, you might be smiling, you might be posting, you might be working, you might be laughing, you might be busy day after day, but you're still dealing with this weight. It is a heavy load that affects one's productivity. It is a burden that we must learn to unburden. It is a pressure that gradually reduces our capacity. That's why it's important to break off. It is important we shatter it, we smash it, we crack it even and set ourselves free. The Bible speaking in Psalm 147 and verse 3 say, He heals the brokenhearted. He builds all their wounds. We carry a whole lot of wound. One greatest wound that we must deal with is our emotional wound. It is a hidden wound that weighs us down, a load that, if not expressed, it depresses one. People are going through a lot of experiences. They might be walking on the road, they might be doing a whole lot of work and activities out there, but they are heavily in pain. It's important we learn to express it because these weights are so heavy that many are covering up, many are packaging it. Certain times, those painful experiences could come as a result of childhood experience. That makes it very difficult for you to control it. What is happening to you, what you're going through, what you're dealing with. Certain time it comes by reason of rejection, rejection that plays out at a different environment. Also, it comes out by reason of betrayal. People begin to get into withdrawal, begin to live in isolation, begin to live with concerns that they will not be able to express. Could be as a result of loss of loved one, loss of a deep relationship that could lure one even into abusive situation. Many are dealing with it because of failure, failure in career, failure in business, failure in their academic, failure in their expectation. Yes, those dreams, those heart desires, those goals, the year is winding down. We need to break free from hidden weights that keeps one isolated, keeps one helpless, keeps one hopeless. And many are repeatedly going through disappointment. And those things are things that weigh people down. So it's important that we deal with them before it leads us to heartbreak that affects our emotional life, affects our mental mind, affects our spiritual life, and even affects our relationship. Instead of living at peace, you're living in conflict, you're living with confusion, you're living with a whole lot of distractions. So it's important we break off those weights. To break off is a personal responsibility. To break off, it is an assignment that you must take a decision. You must be intentional. You must be sensitive to break off. Yes, you are not what happened to you. You are rather you are what you choose to become out of that, to become out of that situation, whatever you went through. Yes, it's not really the level that leaves you with, but what you can learn out of those lessons. So it's important we develop a stamina to release those pains. We must learn to also forgive and forgo and let go. That's an attitude to break off the weights, to break off the body, to break off the heavy load so that we can grow, so that we can move to the next level, so that we can live happy, so that we can live excited. Healing comes gradual. It doesn't come one day. It doesn't come packaging. It comes by reality. One of the way we must learn, acknowledge that there is a wound. And that's the biggest challenge of many. Covering up, packaging, assuming, and putting up faces that are not realistic. It rather keeps you down for a very longer time. But if we can learn to acknowledge there is a wound, so thing hurts me, so thing left me with a wound that I need to deal with. It's important we become very sincere. Be sincere to yourself. Weight shows in our outlook, shows in our mental mind, it shows in our relationship. That's the biggest one, because our interaction every day is with people. We relate with people, with friends, we relate with parents, we relate with siblings, we relate with neighbors, we relate with colleagues. So when one is heavily in bondage, it is difficult to truly express your connectivity even with your social life. So it's important we learn how to break off. We learn how to uncover those hidden emotional heaviness that have locked us up, that have delayed us, that have affected us, that have slowed down our productivity. The good news is God can help us to restore them. Yes, we can also enjoy peace again. We can enjoy joy. We can live excited. We can live happy if we can acknowledge there is a wound. There is a wound that needs to receive healing. Talk about it. Don't keep quiet. Don't bottle up. Don't hide it. Don't hide it. Feed yourself daily with right words. Feed yourself daily with right encouraging words. Surround yourself with right-minded people. You know, there are people you stay with. All they will be doing is to remind you your past experiences, your pains. Yes, I could remember relating with a very close friend of ours. And truly, anytime he shows up, he will always show up with corrective measures. Oh, this is not right. This is, you did this so year ago. You did it. He's always pointing out things that will remind you of your past pain. And all I could do is to block the person out of my network. You can also do that. It's important because there are a lot of people that will always remind you of your pain, that makes it difficult to forgive yourself, makes it difficult to forgive people, makes it difficult to forgive colleagues, to forgive your network, even your nation. It's difficult to forgive because there are things pointing you to those things every day. Healing does not happen overnight. We must learn to be patient to ourselves. We must learn to wait and wait until it is completely done. Certain types of people, it takes a very long time. But the good news is you are in a process of healing. You are not the same level. If you are working on it, you are not at the same spot. Yes, so what emotional weight leaves one with, it steals your joy. That's why you cannot allow it to continue. It steals your peace. Many might be looking at you, hoping that you are enjoying it, but you are weeping in the secret. You are silently in pain, passing through a whole lot of challenges, living in anxiety, living in fear, living in anger, sadness all around you. And like I said, it shows on your outward look, it shows on your courage, it shows on your attitude, it shows on your response to people, even shows on your perception to God. It makes you to believe, oh, everyone is against me. It makes one to believe everyone hates me. It makes one to believe everyone rejects me. That's why it is important we break free from those hidden weights. Break self. It helps us also to break self-worth. If you're not careful with this weight, it makes you to feel worthless, to feel hopeless, to feel empty, even when we are loaded with a lot of capacity. It is important to deal with it. It affects even your relationship. It affects your confidence. It affects your confidence. If you don't break up from those hidden weights, it affects your confidence. What you can conveniently do, you begin to feel you are not competent. You're not good enough. That's why it's important. It makes you to get withdrawn. You disconnect yourself from associates, from friends, from colleagues. Look at the life of Joseph going through betrayal. If he was not on the right track, he would have separated himself from anything you can imagine. You could have separated from families, from the leadership plan God has set up for him. Also, the life of Hannah also went through mockery from her mates, but that did not stop her. She kept on holding on, going to the moment of worship, connecting with God, consistently continued in prayer until the Lord showed up even in her life. It is important we break free from those hidden weights. Like I said, it's a wound actually that is in your heart. Men might not see it, but you know the pain is so heavy, especially when you can relate with someone that is actually responsible for those wounds. Immediately you have a flash of that person, it breaks you down the more. But the truth is, you are the one going through the pain. You are the one suffering the discomfort. You are the one suffering the negative outcome. That's why it's important to break off. That's why it's important you deal with it now so that you can set yourself free and live better. The life of Job is another character. Went through a whole lot of losses, sicknesses, but in all, he said, I know my Redeemer liveth. That's why it's important to get yourself endowed and loaded with daily scriptures, tablets that will give you hope and encouragement, and spend the time of prayer. Those moments of prayer is a way to transfer the burdens, the load, the heaviness to the Almighty. He cares. He still cares no matter what you're going through. That's why the Bible speaking in Matthew chapter 11 and verse 28. The Bible says, come unto me, all ye that are weary and are heavy burden, and I will give you rest. Indeed, God can give rest. All we need is to come. And we come in the place of prayer. We come in connectivity with God. We come by laying our burdens to Him. We come by sharing those concerns. We cannot cover up with God. He knows all. He sees all. Replace the wrong belief. Replace the wrong belief with right belief that God still cares, that God still loves, that God has a good agenda concerning our life. Release the pains to God. Don't hide it from God. In that secret corner, in that lonely moment, pour your heart to God. He can heal the brokenhearted. Forgive yourself. Let go. It's a process. Whatever you went through was a season. We have taught you life lesson. You might never be able to make the same mistake again. You might never go through the same pathway, but the lesson therein has given you a story. The lesson that therein has given you a navigation that brings a greater height even to your ideology in life. Recreate your identity. It's important for us to break free, recreate your identity. You have a glorious identity. Speak healing words. I am loved. I am chosen. I am made. I am healthy. It is well with me. Those are healing words. Yes, avoid isolation. Avoid isolation. Love relations. Love people around you, relatives, friends, neighbors. Look out for someone to always share your burden. It could be a mentor, it could be a teacher, it could be a pastor, it could be a counselor, it could be a therapist, it could be a professional. Look out for someone to pour your heart. What you're doing is you're creating healing. You are creating healing. Saved and still in pain. Many are anointed, but they are in pain. Many are successful, but they are still in pain. That's why I say you must learn to break free from those hidden pain that no one knows about. So that's why I said certain things coming from childhood experience. It was not your making. It was just the environmental influence. It might be Parents' ignorance. That's why you cannot hold on those things. If not, you keep yourself down. The Spirit of the Lord can be activated upon us because we are made in His image and His likeness. And God's image is greatness, His honor, and His beauty. He loves us. He cares. He can truly take good care of us. Just allow good supporters. Allow right-minded people. Yes. Be sincere to yourself. Don't package stories. Be sincere. That's why I say acknowledge there is a wound. Acknowledge there is a pain. There's acknowledge there is a sorrow. There's acknowledge there is something that needs to be dealt with. You need a healing. Yes, we can feel it. We can relate with it. We can also, it can even show in our belief. It can show with our contact. It can show with in our discussion. It can show in our communication. These things doesn't hide. That's why we must be intentional to break off from such heavy weights that are affecting us. Embrace healthy lifestyle. That's why I say some people go on workout, exercises. Yes, those attitudes, those things are a way to ease off. So some people get as long as much as going for vacation. Some people get into reading. It's a moment of study, moment of worship, moment of singing and dancing is a way to ease off those burdens. It's a way to ease off. That's why it's important we learn the strategy. Yes, I am not enough. That's always the suggestion. That's mine. That feeling will always leave you with. I am not enough. I am not good enough. Learn to renew your mind with positive things. Whether those things are right or to learn to renew your mind. Replace wrong belief with right belief. And by so doing, we begin to move from one level to another level. From one level to another level is so important. Yes, there are a whole lot of people around us that can be of help. There are people that are around you that can assist you. Don't bottle up. I encourage us, break free from hidden weights. Break off those weights. Those weights, like I said, it can come from the environment. It can come from childhood experience. It can come from frustrating experiences. It can come from challenges, betrayals. It can come from abusive situations. We can't keep holding on because the worst person that is dealing with it is yourself. Just free yourself. Just set yourself free. Liberate yourself. The wound can be healed. Yes, that's the good news. That load can go off you. That weight, that burden can be dropped at the feet of Jesus. All we need is to embrace Him. All we need is to confess Him. And before you know it, you begin to unburden those weights and those heaviness. I encourage us this hour that we must learn to live with gladness. Remember, it is your personal responsibility. Live a grateful life. Live excitedly. Live joyfully. Live praiseful. Look out for those things that are working. There are so many things that are working around us. And as we focus on those things, we begin to break off from those hidden weights that have isolated us, that have separated us, that have made us worthless, that have made us hopeless, that have made us helpless. There is help. There is hope. There is, and also be joy and rejoicing again. God bless you. Remember to share. Remember to subscribe. And remember, you can live with gladness. It is your personal responsibility. My name remains Mrs. Sophia Kiwamo. God bless you.